What if the most secure prison in the country did everything right and still failed? No guards asleep, no alarms ignored, no insider confession, just one escape so clean, so precise, that even years later, investigators still argue about how it was possible. This is the prison escape authorities still can't explain. South of Paris sits a prison designed to remove hope. Massive concrete walls, layers of barbed wire, armored doors controlled electronically, courtyards sealed with nets meant to stop helicopters from above. Watchtowers stand on every corner. Guards rotate constantly. Every movement is documented. On paper, it's perfect. Inside, hundreds of inmates live under routines so strict they blur together. But one of them is different. He's considered one of the most dangerous prisoners in the country and escaped years earlier that already embarrassed authorities. Because of that, he's kept under extreme supervision. Solitary confinement, limited visits, constant searches. And yet, on a quiet summer morning, he looks completely at ease. At around 9:20 in the morning, 2 guards arrive at his cell. They unlock the door, pat him down carefully. They find nothing dangerous, just a pack of gum. He jokes with them, smiles, acts like someone who has accepted his fate. The guards escort him toward the visiting block. What they don't know is that this walk has been timed down to the minute, because miles away something else is already happening. In an open field outside the city, a small helicopter waits. It's old, vintage, the kind collectors love. The pilot believes he's flying passengers who just want to watch the scenery. They pay in cash, ask a few questions. Something feels off, but nothing illegal. Moments after takeoff, they ask to land briefly. As soon as the helicopter touches the ground, everything changes. Weapons come out, threats follow. They know the pilot's name, where his family lives, what time they get home. He's told exactly what will happen if he doesn't cooperate. Fly where they tell him, do exactly what they say, or people he loves die. Back at the prison, staff had noticed odd details in the weeks before. More visits than usual, phone calls that felt coded, a drone once spotted circling above the facility, but suspicion alone doesn't stop routine. The prisoner sits across from his brother in the visiting room, talking calmly, waiting. At 11:18 a.m., a guard on one of the watchtowers hears something strange, a low humming noise. At first it sounds harmless, like a leaf blower or maintenance equipment. Then it gets louder. The radio crackles, emergency orders come through, and suddenly a helicopter appears above the prison walls. It's small, old, just narrow enough to slip through a gap no one ever worried about. Guards react instantly, but protocol freezes them. They aren't allowed to fire at a flying aircraft. The helicopter doesn't land, it hovers. Smoke grenades drop into the courtyard. Thick white clouds explode outward, blinding everything. Then comes the sound. Metal screaming against metal. An angle grinder cuts into a reinforced door. Inside the visiting block, the prisoner hears it. He stands up. This is the moment he's been waiting for. 40 seconds later, the door gives way. 2 masked men rush in, weapons ready. No hesitation. The prisoner doesn't speak. He runs. Alarms don't know how to respond to this. Guards don't carry firearms inside. Watchtower sentinels can't see through the smoke. Calls to emergency lines are delayed, misunderstood, ignored. It's chaos built entirely out of rules. The prisoner bursts into the courtyard. Inmates press against their cell bars, watching something they'll talk about forever. He raises his hand, salutes, then climbs into the helicopter. At 11:28 a.m., it lifts off. 10 minutes. That's all it took. Within hours, the footage spreads everywhere. A helicopter escaped from inside a maximum security prison. Authorities scramble to explain it, but there's no single failure to point to. No guard who fell asleep, no unlocked door, no bribe. Just a sequence of perfectly exploited assumptions. Weeks later, the escaped man becomes the most wanted fugitive in the country. Months later, he's caught again. This time, there are no chances. In court, experts describe him as charismatic, manipulative, addicted to adrenaline. He doesn't deny it. He says the rush controlled him. He's sentenced to decades behind bars, placed in near total isolation, multiple guards for every movement, constant searches, no helicopters this time. But even now, authorities can't agree on one thing. How did this actually happen? Because every system worked for the escape they expected, just not for the one they got.